and welcome to Talk Who Game. It seems like it's been ages, but we're back in this preview of West Brom Albion versus West Ham United, our fourth last game of this season. On Saturday, do join us at halftime as we will be live discussing the first 45 minutes from the Hawthorns, and sitting somewhere in the Hawthorns will be our first guest, who's Scott. Scott, what do you make of our opponents on Saturday, West Brom?
An average side. I can see us beating them. Really pleased that they took points from Tottenham the other day, but I don't think they'll be able to live with us.
Gonzo, what do you make of West Brom? I mean, this is kind of like a normal Tony Pulis type season, is it? You get saved and you just linger about in the table.
Yeah, well, someone said to me once, Pulis is Allardyce with a baseball cap, really, isn't he? He's going to bore us to death. He's going to stick as many men behind the ball as he can. It will not be. It will not be an exciting game. West Ham will not be winning that game 5-0, that's for sure.
Scott, do you enjoy watching West Brom, or would you say they're the most boring side in the league?
Just what Chris has said is another Allardyce, isn't it? If you want him to do your job and keep you up or do something, he's just a defensive kind of guy, isn't it? And that's the way that they play. It's boring football.
They've actually gone 7 games this season without a shot on target. How dreadful must that be? 7 games their fans have had to sit and watch their side not even have an effort on target. How awful is that? 22% of their passes are long balls, is the highest in the league. More than a fifth of their passes are long balls. Gonzo, do you think the Premier League, it's time up for people like Pulis and Allardyce, or is there always going to be a necessity for them?
No, there's always room for terrible coaches like that, because people are always going to want to scrap and stay in a division. I'll tell you something, don't take a genius. So what was that? It was 7 games without a shot on goal or something. It's no coincidence their best player, Berahino, who's a striker, doesn't get in the team. Maybe they'd have chucked him in the team a bit more, despite his so-called poor attitude. They might have had a couple of shots on goal and scored a goal. So, but you know what? I mean, the old cliche, it does what it says on the tin. He's kept them up, and at that you have to say, crikey, he's been a lot better than Allardyce. You look at Allardyce's, sort of tail end at last season, or Allardyce's last 12 months, if you like. Relegation form at West Ham, relegation form at Sunderland. So at least Pulis, he bores the hell out of everyone, but at least he keeps them up. Sam will bore the hell out of you and almost get you relegated as well.
Well, let's talk about the striker you've just mentioned there, Berahino. 14 of his last 18 goals have come at home. That's since the start of last season. So he is a very home kind of striker. Gonzo, you're a big fan of him, aren't you?
Yeah, really good. He's the new Defoe, if you like. He's a natural finisher. Knows where the goal is. Could start a fight in a telephone box on his own, sort of thing as well. But put that to one side. He's a talented boy, naturally gifted finisher.
Scott, lastly, before we move on to our own side, what's the future for West Brom? I mean, if they've got Pulis, are they ever going to get more than just surviving in the Premier League? Or is it time that the money is there now in the league that you have to be demanding more? Even clubs like West Brom have to be saying to Tony Pulis, we want silverware.
Well, you've got to be careful what you wish for, haven't you? When you have these poor managers and then you get rid of them, and then you get so-called talented managers coming in, you've really got to be careful. And I think they've got to be careful. Look at us. No, sorry, tongue-in-cheek. He did a really good job for Stoke. He did well. But look what happened to them. They brought a better coach in afterwards, and Stoke have gone into being a very, very good team now. I think West Brom will do the same. Have a look on social media. The fans don't like him. It doesn't take long now for him to be on his way. But he'll always find a job in football.
Well, the man in the middle is Lee Mason, in case you don't know who that is. He's a little chubby one with rosy red cheeks. And no, I'm not talking about our former captain. We've only had him once this season. We drew 0-0 at Swansea. West Brom have had him twice. They lost 1-0 at Newcastle, but they beat Stoke, Pulis' old club, 2-1 at the Hawthorns. Gonzo, 4 games left. Is it potentially almost 4 cup finals for West Ham? Because we still have a lot to play for, don't we?
I don't know. No, I tend to disagree, to be honest with you. I think it's sort of fizzling out a little bit, really. I don't think we do have. I don't think we can get into that top 4. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't particularly want to get into the Europa League for next season, because I think next season we can really capitalise on teams like Tottenham and Leicester, who are going to really struggle. Those other teams can't muck around next season. They can't put a second string out and put the youth team out like the Europa Cup. They're in the Champions League. They're going to have to take it seriously, and they're going to struggle to play, sort of Wednesday and Saturday and that sort of thing. So actually, I would like us not to be in Europe next season in the Europa Cup, and sort of go for it. But season tickets have gone so well, it would be nice for some West Ham fans who can't get in on the priority list to maybe, get to a game or two, and the Europa might afford them that.
Scott, do you agree with that or disagree with what Gonzo's there? Gonzo's saying he doesn't want Europa League football.
I'm in Gonzo's camp. I didn't want Europe football at the beginning of our season. We're not there yet. I don't want that. I want us to get a side together that can compete in the Premiership, and when we can do that, then we can push on. But we're a season or two away from that, as far as I'm concerned.
Rubbish, absolute rubbish. I can't believe you're both saying that. What's the point of bringing in Bilic if we're going to qualify for Europa League and you sit there saying, no, we don't want that? We'd be just as well keeping Allardyce.
Bilic didn't want it. Bilic didn't want it, mate. You saw what team he put out against the Romanians. Bilic didn't want to be in Europa League.
But we're 12 months on now. Bilic has put his print down. Bilic has built his team. He knows he's going into this summer. He knows exactly who he needs to get rid of. Sorry, O'Brien and Valencia. You two are probably it, as well as the 3 loans. He knows exactly who he wants to get in. But Europa League, you don't need to field your first 11. We see Tottenham do it. They rotate against. Okay, it was a quarter-final against Dortmund. You don't even have to play the first 11 to get out of that group. You play teams from Kazakhstan.
Well, listen, maybe Tottenham got away with it. We do have to play our first 11 because we show we can't even. If we didn't play our first 11, we went out and we did go out. I mean, he didn't take it seriously, which is fine. I honestly don't mind. I think it's Mickey Mouse anyway. But let's be honest, he let Terry Wesley take his first game there. So, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Aside from the fans, it would be good to get extra games for the fans that can't get tickets. I just want to really I want to go for the league and go for the League Cup and FA Cup. And let's grow one more season, then really go for it and try and get Champions League next season.
Come on, Scott.
I'm sorry, I totally agree with that. For me, it's about laying a foundation, and he hasn't laid a foundation. He started to lay a foundation. I'd like us to, like I said, give it a push in the league, see how we do, but to play, our first season, our new ground, play for the best cup in the world, which is the FA Cup. Forget this Europa and what have you. FA Cup. Let's have a really good go at that again, and let's bring that on.
I think yous are mad. The Europa League gives you Champions League qualification. What more can you want? I think you're mad. But yous watching, join in on the forum at hammerschat.boards.net. There will be a thread there with the video in it. You might be watching it on the forum. Do comment below. Let us know your thoughts on our little argument. You're watching on YouTube. Briefly comment below. Let us know your opinion. One of us, well, me or them two are wrong. You can let us know which one. Right then, Antonio. Let's talk about Antonio. Scott, let's go with yourself. Are we shifting him, or are you happy with him at right back?
No, not right back. No, I mean he does. I was going to say, yeah. No, I think he's. I love this lad. Like I said, I've tweeted it and I've said it to you. Throw him a pair of gloves and a green jersey. He'll play in net for us. He loves playing for us, and he'd give it his best shot, and that's what I like about him. He'd play it right back for us if he could do a job. But that's not where he's going to hurt people. Getting in the box, making a nuisance. Like you said it before, he doesn't know what he's going to do. So how do they know what he's going to do? He's just absolutely fantastic. He's a breath of fresh air, and I think there are more players in lower leagues that we could tap into.
Gonzo, centre back, would you be happy keeping Ogbonna? And I think Ogbona's pretty certain of a starting spot. But Winston Reid, I think he's been a bit dodgy recently since coming back from his injury. We've now got James Tompkins and James Collins on the bench. What would you be doing in centre back?
Oh, I love them all. I really do. I think they're all brilliant. We're so lucky to have such good centre backs. I like Tompkins. I do like to see Tompkins playing. Having said that, I'll play him at right back, to be honest with you, and push Antonio forward, like Scott said. Yeah, we've let in a lot of goals recently, actually, it seems. So I think something needs to change. I think if you weren't scoring goals, we'd change a striker. So since we're letting in goals, I'd change something. So I might go with Ogbonna, Collins, and Tompkins at right back if it was my choice. But Reid on his day is an excellent centre back. I don't see many better, but it's not on his day at the moment. He's not on his game that much.
Well, let's switch to the other end of the pitch, not striker. You two describe him as impact sub. I've always said Mr. Andy Carroll is good enough to start. I think with Sacco up front against Watford, they look like they could click if given time. Scott, what's your opinion on Andy Carroll? Are you still Mr. Impact subbing, labelling him, or are you hoping he keeps the starting position for the rest of the season with Sacco maybe?
You know me, I'm not a Carroll fan, but I think he could do us a job by starting in this game. They're going to have everybody behind the ball. We need to be putting balls in there. We need his elbows flying. We need him throwing himself about and just making a nuisance in their box and hoping that something drops to us.
Gonzo, are you confident then? West Brom don't really have anything to play for. However, they just drew at White Hart Lane, so that's not a result you can shrug off. However, I watched that game. West Brom were awful. Tottenham should have been out of sight by half-time. They can only blame themselves, really, Tottenham. You must be pretty confident about this one, are you, Gonzo?
No, not confident at all. No, I think they're really good at defence, and are they going to bore us to death? I do think you've got a good point with Carroll there. I think he could cause some problems, but the fellow with the long, is it Olsen? Is that his name? What's the centre back's name?
Olsen, yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He's tall. He's big as well. So he might not be that bothered by Andy Carroll, you know. So I don't know. We maybe leave a little Dele Alli in there to do a little limp-wristed punch on somebody or something.
Yeah, Olsen's not even the best header of the ball. I think it's Craig Dawson he needs to look after. Dawson's lethal in there at the end of the pitch as well. What about yourself, Scott? Are you feeling confident travelling there on Saturday yourself?
I've never seen us win away from home this year. Tom keeps taking me to these games. God bless him. I love him to death. Tom takes me to these games, and I sit there and watch us draw or lose. So I'm really hoping that we get a win this time. But they're going to bore us to death. You know how they're going to play. They're going to frustrate us and trying to hit us on the break, and just hopefully we get I don't know. Pyatt stats, gets brought down edge of the area and he sticks one in.
Yeah, he could easily get a lot of free kicks against this side. Use at home watching, make sure you do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're hoping to hit 1,500 by the end of the season. That'd be a nice wee figure to hit, so if you could subscribe, that would be good. Join us on the forum at hammerschat.boards.net and keep up to date with all your latest West Ham news and loads of exclusive this week over on clienthugh.info, including from David Gold himself, so do check it out. Prediction time, gentlemen. Prediction time. Scott, what are you saying?
4-0.
You just said you weren't confident.
I've had a drink. I'm going for it. No. No, I am. No, I'm sticking with that. It comes from the heart, that. 4-0. My head's telling me 1-0, but my heart's going 4-0. So I'm going 4-0.
I don't think you're going to be as optimistic on. So what's your score?
No, well, listen, Scott's on the Guinness. So he's optimistic. I'm on the PG tips, I'm afraid. So I'm going for a 1-0, Yeah, 1-0. Just seems to be a tight game.
And you probably won't really care because it'll hinder our prospects of getting into the Europa League. I'm going to go for 1-0 as well. I think it'll be comfortable. I don't think West Brom is really going to bother us too much, but we just won't get very much efforts. But anyway, thank you very much for watching at home. This has been Talking of the Game, and before we go, Gon's got one last thing to say.
More than just a podcast. Sean did a quick one. It was only about 15 minutes long, covered the under-21 game. He interviewed Terry Wesley, which was very, very interesting, so get over there and give that a listen.
Fantastic. We'll put the link on the forum with this video as well, so you can check out on the forum. But Scott, Gonzo, Gio, we'll see you back at half-time on Saturday. Come on, West Ham.